That was obviously post-game. We now have the update. By the way, Alyssa Thompson is going to take Mallory Swanson's spot on the roster. Herc, just how big a deal is this for the U.S. women's national team?
Massive, because if there was one in-form and healthy player for the U.S. women's national team, it was Mallory Swanson. It was the player who, after being left off the Olympic roster, really took it upon herself to be better and was better for it, was on a mission, and she was showing in the last games for the U.S. women's national team. So now you're banking on a soon-to-be 34-year-old Alex Morgan coming off a knee procedure who maybe can regain the form that she had last year at the NWSL level, but her last major tournament where she was really, really tested didn't go so well, which was the Olympics back in 2020 in Tokyo. A few goals in the group phase versus New Zealand and a penalty kick versus the Netherlands. After that, Catarina Macario, still not there, still on the mend. You haven't seen her as of yet. Trinity Rodman, who her best season was her rookie year in the NWSL, hasn't been the same player that she showed, or hasn't showed those same flashes of promise, neither for her club nor country. Sophia Smith, that you can hope can regain that form that she had last season and is this season in the NWSL, but is coming off a foot injury, which is why she didn't play with the U.S. women's national team. That's your best shot. And it goes to show you that they ended up bringing up Alyssa Thompson, who's an unproven teenager, because this team was supposed to be the best in the world, is really grasping at straws when it comes to player personnel.
This is devastating, Herc. No other way to put it. This close to the World Cup, to lose, as you say, your most in-form, healthy player. This is bad news. This is real bad news, and I think it changes the ceiling for the U.S. women's national team at the World Cup. I think it's that significant of an injury. This team, if you really think about the identity of what this team was going to be and what Vlatko Andonovski wanted, it was going to be Sophia Smith and Mallory Swanson. That speed was going to define this team at this World Cup. Now, Sophia Smith is still there, but Mallory Swanson was the other side of that. And for all the depth and all the names that you mentioned, there's nobody else who is as red hot or as proven at international level as Mallory Swanson. This is serious problem for the U.S. women's national team. I don't think there's an answer. And I know that the big storyline going into this weekend, Herc, was that Julie Ertz was coming back. I think that's now problem number 2. I think if Vlatko Andonovski has a priority list, it's what do we do with this other spot and who can we get in there? Because the latest we're hearing on Catarina Macario is she's not back to competitive games either. And Vlatko wants to see her in competitive games before he can bring her in. So we're running out of time. And the problems are mounting up for this U.S. women's national team ahead of this World Cup. I'm not as optimistic, Herc, as I once was.
Well, that sounds familiar from Vlatko. I thought I heard the same thing about Julie Ertz.
You're right. You're right. Facts change, so do opinions. What do we always say here on Futbol Americas?
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.